Good day everyone and welcome to today's webinar on R&D in IoT with Netsim. My name is Pranav Vishwanathan and I am the business manager at Netsim. Along with me is Kanakaraj Krishnamurthy, our application engineer. This webinar will be about 45 minutes long. In this webinar, we will start with the IoT simulation workflow in which we will look at modeling IoT networks and analyzing various output metrics. Next, we will see how users can write their own code in Netsim with a simple Hello World program. Subsequently, we'll look at an R&D example with the dynamic clustering project involving MATLAB interfacing. After this, we will move on to discuss an example related to implementing network attacks in IoT. We will then look at a wireless body area network simulation in Netsim based on an IoT healthcare use case. Following this, we will see how Netsim emulator can be interfaced with Node-RED and IBM Watson cloud platforms. As a part of this, we will look at a few fog computing examples. Finally, we will share some R&D areas where Netsim is used and have a Q&A session to answer your questions. We have muted all the participants and you can send us your questions via the chat option. Internet of Things (IoT) is an ecosystem of devices that connect to and communicate via the internet. Netsim allows users to design, simulate and analyze the performance of an IoT network using devices such as sensor modes, 6LoWPAN gateway, routers, switches, access points, etc. Users can drag and drop devices to design the network scenario. The data link and physical layer implementations are as per IEEE 802.15.4 standard. In the network layer, we have support for both IPv4 and IPv6. Routing protocols such as AODB and RPL are available to choose from in the network layer. The 6LoWPAN gateway has a wireless interface to connect to the wireless sensor network and a wired interface for connecting to the access network. The gateway will switch packets from one network to another. We will now open Netsim and click on IoT. This is the user interface for designing an IoT network scenario. The sensor placement window allows automatic placement of sensor nodes on the grid area. Hundreds of sensors can be placed with a single click. We use the automatic option to place 16 sensors uniformly on the grid. We then add a 6LoWPAN gateway, a couple of routers, and a wired node onto the grid and connect them using links to form a network. Network traffic can be configured using the inbuilt virtual traffic generator. We configure traffic between a few sensors and the server. We then enable plots and packet trace option in the UI and run the simulation. It would take about half a minute for the simulation to complete. Upon completion of simulation, the NetSim results window provides a variety of performance metrics in tabular and graphical formats. Additionally, users can open the Packet Animator to visualize the flow of packets in the network during the simulation. It comes along with a table which contains details about each packet that flows through the network. Now, having simulated a simple IoT network, we move on to writing our own code in NetSim. Let us look at a simple Hello World program. We click on Help and then on the Open Source Code button. This automatically launches Visual Studio development environment and loads the protocol source C codes. The IoT module runs ZigBee protocol in the MAC and PHY layers. The technical standard for ZigBee is IEEE 802.15.4. We will now write a few lines of code to print Hello World in this 802.15.4 source code of NetSim. Having written this, we next build the source codes. We can see the build happening. The build is successful. Next, we go back to NetSim and we run the same simulation. The simulation runs the newly built code. The console shows the message that it has detected a change in the ZigBee DLL file. And then we see the Hello World message printed in the simulation console. It now waits for a keystroke, and on pressing a key, the simulation progresses. This example was to show you how simple and easy it is to write your own code in NetSim. We next move on to an R&D example featuring dynamic clustering of sensors in an IoT network. In this, we will show how NetSim and MATLAB are interfaced to perform co-simulations. Here we apply clustering on a wireless sensor network comprising of 64 sensors uniformly distributed in the simulation environment. All sensors initially have equal battery levels. Clustering divides the sensors into two or more groups, and a cluster head is selected in each cluster. The cluster head collects the packets from the sensors belonging to its cluster and forwards them to the sync node. Clustering and cluster head selection algorithms are run in MATLAB, while the simulation of the networking protocols is handled by NetSim. We open the example network scenario in NetSim. We open the source code for this example. In the dynamic clustering.c file, we see that the number of clusters have been set to 4. Next is the MATLAB interface.c file, which takes care of NetSim MATLAB interfacing. It has 3 functions, namely MATLAB init, MATLAB run, and MATLAB finish. Then we open the .m MATLAB file, which runs the clustering algorithm. In this MATLAB code, the clustering function takes the device coordinates and the remaining energy as arguments from NetSim. This means that from within NetSim, this MATLAB function is called with the appropriate arguments being passed to the function. Once this function is called, MATLAB does the cluster formation and the cluster head selection. In parallel, energy consumption is also plotted. We now show this through a simulation. As you can see, MATLAB is automatically started by NetSim. In runtime, MATLAB does clustering. NetSim uses this clustering information and simulates the networking protocols and calculates the energy consumption. On the right hand side, we see this energy consumption in the sensor network being plotted in runtime by MATLAB. As the simulation progresses, we see the emergence of peaks. This means the energy consumption is high in certain sensors. This happens since the k-means clustering algorithm only considers distance as an input for selecting the cluster heads. The same cluster head is selected at every pass. This cluster head ends up consuming energy for receiving and transmitting packets received from all the sensors in its cluster. One obvious goal is to reduce the peaks and uniformly dissipate power. This would improve the network lifetime. This can be achieved using a k-means algorithm which takes distance and remaining energy as inputs to the clustering algorithm. Therefore, the sensors which have lower energy are unlikely to be chosen as cluster heads. The same is available as example 3 in the MATLAB.m file. A comparison between the two clustering algorithms can be seen on the right hand side plot. The first plot shows the peaks, while the second plot shows more uniform energy consumption. For those who are interested, this entire protocol source code and documentation is available as the dynamic clustering project in our website. Next, NetSim also allows users to perform research on network security in IoT and WSN. Various network attacks such as sinkhole attack, wormhole attack, DOS attack, flooding attack, selective forwarding, false data injection, etc. can be modeled. As explained earlier, all these R&D examples can be found in the file exchange in our website. We will now look at a sinkhole attack in IoT, whereby malicious nodes attract network traffic by advertising false routing information. This example involves RPL protocol, which creates a topology similar to a tree, known as a DAG or directed acyclic graph. Each node within the network has an assigned rank, which increases as the node moves away from the root. Nodes select their parents based on the rank value. A node with a lower rank is likely to be chosen as a parent than a node with a higher rank. The malicious node falsely advertises a low rank value, causing the neighboring nodes to select it as the parent. Once it is selected as the parent, the malicious node ends up getting all the network traffic. We open the network in NetSim. The network scenario comprises of a few sensor nodes communicating to a server via a 6LoWPAN gateway and a router. We open the source code. The code of RPL protocol is modified and a malicious.c file is added to model the malicious behavior. A MATLAB interface.c file is also added to pass parameters from NetSim to MATLAB in runtime to plot the directed acyclic graph. Now malicious behavior is modeled for node 7 and the simulation is started. As we run the simulation, we can see the tree formation in parallel in MATLAB. NetSim sends parameters such as the XY coordinates, ranks, and parent-child information to MATLAB at runtime. Based on this information, DODAG formation is done in MATLAB. We can see in the DODAG that is formed, node 7 advertises a false rank, rank 3, causing its neighboring nodes to select it as the parent. After this, node 7 starts receiving all the traffic from its child nodes. This is known as a false rank attack. We now shift to our next example, where we simulate a wireless body area sensor network use case. In this real-world example, real wireless sensors connected to the body measure various health parameters which is saved to a log file. The Excel log file shown on the right contains the readings of the sensors. The first column has the timestamps, and the subsequent 11 columns have values from 11 different sensors measuring body's ECG, EEG, airflow, etc. An equivalent IoT network scenario is modeled in NetSim. This network comprises of 11 sensor nodes which form part of the body area network. The sensors connect to a 6LoWPAN gateway and onto a cloud server via a WAN router. We open the scenario in NetSim. An application is configured for each sensor to periodically generate packets and forward it to the server via the 6LoWPAN gateway. We then run the simulation. During simulation, the sensor data is transmitted from sensors to the server via the virtual network in NetSim. The log file is given as input to the simulation. NetSim programmatically determines which data is to be sent from which sensor. In the results window, we can see the output packet capture files of the sensors. We open one of the files. You can see the sensor reading is forming a part of the payload being sent to the cloud server. Various network performance metrics such as packet loss, throughput, and latency can be studied for different sensor transmission rates, environmental RF conditions, patient mobility, etc. I now hand over to my colleague Kanak.